Yes, some 2 or 3 months ago, we trained online journalism bloggers on reporting human rights stories. And during that training in Bolova, one of the recommendations was to also equip them with skills, with protection skills. And we also understood that as new members of the Human Rights Journalists Network, they need to master protection skills, they need to master safety skills when they are covering events, especially events that have a complex connotation. So that's the reason why we organized this training for the online journalists and bloggers here in Douala.
Protection is not deal only with where we are practicing the journalism. Protection deal with how we are doing journalism every day. It's not only in the war zone that there are risks. Even in Douala there are many risks because sometimes there are strikes in Douala also. Sometimes also there are people fighting, and if you don't know how to cover those type of events, you cannot do it safely and come back safely. Also, you cannot even get the news that you wanted to collect.
Content-wise, like I said, it's protection mainstreaming. We gave them all the different avenues for protection that are available to them as journalists, and then we've also worked on developing their skills in covering sensitive events and how to handle complex events from a human rights perspective. We've also worked with the journalists, tapped into the experience of some veteran journalists to see how to build the skills of the young ones who are growing to be able to protect themselves when they cover sensitive events. And I think this kind of experience sharing has been one of the most exciting experiences that I've seen amongst journalists, coming from different backgrounds and having experience in covering different kinds of events. So we think that it is the best way to actually introduce these journalists into the Human Rights Journalist Network.
Concerning the work that I've done online, I'm a blogger. So, as a blogger in Cameroon, it's very important to first know our rights and secondly to first know what we have to publish online. And also, when you move to the field, is something that us as a blogger, sometimes we don't think about security. We just move to the field like animals sometimes, and sometimes forget about our security.
So protection is a problem across the board, and one of the things that journalists should know is that they are the first responsible for their protection. We can talk about international protection mechanisms, we can talk about networking, we can talk about all the association of journalists that are available, but is the journalist first and foremost able to protect himself in complex emergencies when he is covering complex emergencies? That's the first thing. And so we must equip them. And when it is above their level, then we can now start thinking of tapping into the available national, regional, and international protection mechanisms.
As during this training, to be professional when we are collecting news. Risk is not only a fight, it's not only war, it's not only policemen or military. It's also people that we are meeting on the way or on the field. That it depends. Also, we should be. How can I say? We should also be those can appreciate the fact. The people that we are seeing. Sometimes you can see the person who are aggressive. We will be able to identify the type of people when we are going to go down the field. You need to know who you are, know your right, because when you know your right, you cannot do the thing that you are not supposed to do.
This workshop was very interesting, especially for a person like us, because when you're a blogger, you didn't follow some formation or didn't have some education about what you are doing. So you just start to do your work. But it's very important to know some tools about what you can do to be safe in the field.
Walking into a crisis situation where we are going to be having elections anytime soon, It's going to be mixing up with the Anglophone crisis. It's going to be mixing up with the crisis in the Boko Haram area. It's going to be mixing up with the crisis in the east region of the country. All around Cameroon, we are in a serious crisis situation. So journalists reporting the crisis have to be very, very careful the way they go about their reporting. At least they should stay alive and not die in the course of their work.
The Human Rights Journalist Network, there is already a very big avenue for follow-up. They will continue to exchange online, and this Human Rights Journalist Network is existing for the past 8 years. And if there was no coherent follow-up, I think the network will not be there till today, and they will not be admitting new members into the network. So this is an indication that the network has stood its grounds, and admitting new members means that we have actually seen the need to expand the group of human rights journalists, of journalists who are versed with techniques of covering human rights stories, and those who would actually take up the challenge to make sure that everything that is human rights, that is humanitarian, is given the attention that it deserves.